Good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock, and I'm calling to order the regular Tuesday night meeting for Tuesday, May 8th, 2012. We have the invocation given by Commissioner Holberg and the pledge led by Commissioner McLemore.
Please rise. Let's bow our heads. Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Now, under presentation and delegations, we would like to recognize Jeff Stanley of the Public Work Department as April 2012 Strongest Link Award recipient.
Good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening.
Jeff up here. Jeff was nominated and selected for the Strongest Link, and I want to give you a little bit about his historical background with the city of Griffin. Jeff's been with the city for 10 years. In that time, he became a certified floodplain manager for the city of Griffin. He's a certified GIS professional in his association. He's a certified stormwater manager. He's a registered land surveyor in 2 states, Alabama and Georgia. He personally led the charge to take the CRS program under the flood insurance program, and we started as a 7, and within 3 years we became a CSR 5, the only one in the state of Georgia and the first one in the state of Georgia. This year he was awarded, it's been kind of his year, I guess, he was awarded 2nd place for his AMI maps by the Georgia Surveying and Mapping Society. Just recently, he was awarded he is the Floodplain Manager of the Year for the state of Georgia by his professional association. And a couple side notes is that Jeff played fiddle for 6 years with Doug Stone and Randy Travis as a professional musician. Wow. He's played for a couple others. He currently plays in a gospel group that he plays for and travels the Southeast and does some backup work and stuff for other folks. And then the other significant event is 27 months ago, Jeff decided to make a life-changing decision. At the time, he weighed 335 pounds 27 months ago. Currently today weighs 200 pounds. He's lost the equivalent of 2 second graders of 135 pounds. Not only did he lose 2 second graders, he is now off cholesterol medication and joint medication. So, Jeff, on behalf of the city of Griffin and Mr. Smith and the staff, you got a plaque for Lincoln the Chain and a certificate. And Jeff Steele, and I should have took it before and after.
He's got a new wardrobe, too. He dresses better than Brant.
Jeff, has it affected your playing? Losing all that weight, has it affected your playing?
I have a little bit more room now on my fiddle fretboard. My fingers aren't quite as big. When I first, one quick thing, one reason Doug Stone said that he thought I was an honest guy and he hired me, it wasn't that I was better than anybody else. But when I started off, I'd be better off in a pine box. I'm like, Doug, I don't know if I can do that. My fingers are so fat, I don't think they'll cram in there together. So he said, well, we'll do that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And what did you just recently acquire? Go ahead, he's been beaming to tell us.
Mountain bike?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know how to play a banjo, but I just bought one of the last ones. I told Brant I'm going to tie this back into floodplain management. Today, my life was negatively affected by flooding when I discovered that Gibson in Nashville had been flooded out in the big flood, and they're no longer making their classic Gibson banjos. And I just found one in Washington, and I got it on the way. So I told Brant I was going to learn to pick him a song.
All right. Thank you.
Is he still big enough to carry all that chain?
Hey, Jeff, have you tried picking with Drew?
I have not. I look forward to the opportunity, though. I know we have several musicians here at the city of Griffin and around, and I look forward to the opportunity.
That would be a treat for us.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. Next, we recognize the city water and wastewater plant for the Gold and Platinum Award from the Georgia Association of Water Professionals in meeting and exceeding operational standards as determined by Georgia EPD for 2012 with no violations.
We're very fortunate that since 2002 you've allowed us to make the improvements. To make the improvements to the system so these people can do their jobs and stay in compliance. As you recall, in 2002, we were being fined around $30,000 a year on the wastewater side. Very fortunate we weren't fined on the drinking water side, which is even a bigger to-do. Well, they've worked hard over the last 5 years, and in order to get the gold award, you have to have 5-year, a minimum of 1-year compliance through 4 years, and they're starting their 5th year of compliance with no violations. And then our water treatment plants, we've been very fortunate under the leadership of these folks. We are now reached the platinum level. And so these folks are the folks that nobody sees anybody because they're usually stuck out somewhere either in Pike County or, you know, Shoal Creek out on West Ellis Road. I wanted to bring them to you tonight so at least you know who your superintendents are at the outside of the plants. But these folks work hard, and I really appreciate them and what they've brought to the city of Griffin. And being a water-first community, it's very important that we stay in compliance and get these awards. So I want to say on behalf of myself and Mr. Smith and y'all, we appreciate what y'all do for us on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Beasley's in the back of the room. He's a quite bashful person. He decided not to step forward with his employees.
Well, you didn't have his name on here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, review financials for March 2012.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners.
Good evening.
First item on the list will be the cash report. So I'll take any questions if we have any.
You know, our budgeting has gotten so good and you all track it so well, it's starting to get boring looking at it. It's hard to find exciting things.
I'll take that as a compliment, thank you. Am I dismissed now? Not so fast, huh? Cash balance pretty much just stays the same for month to month unless we have any major expenditures. One of the other items that will be coming in over the next month or so will be the proceeds for the GMA lease for the fire truck that was purchased a few months ago, ordered, and that'll be delivered here in the next month or two. Moving on to the SPLOST and local option sales tax numbers, it's a single page. Again, here we appear to be tracking on target with the local option sales tax, and as I'll mention later on, I believe we're going to come in over budget. And on the SPLOST, collections are ticking up again because we've satisfied the capital for the bonds for the construction project. So now we're going to get that money back in again. I think overall, though, we will be tracking about 7 or 8% below expectations for the SPLOST program as a whole. The second page is the SPLOST analysis, provides a list of all the projects, the budgets assigned for each of these projects, the expenditures to date, and the current balance. questions on that document?
And this 6-year SPLOST began in 2000, collections in 2008,
9.
2009, so we've got another.
3 years.
Okay, the next document will be the staple document, the interim statements by fund. And I'd like to pass out one additional piece of information that was requested by Mr. McLemore. He had a very specific question regarding the utility enterprise charges for the electric fund, where we are this year versus where we are last year. So last year that number was at 75.06%. This year that number is at 73.37% of budget for the revenues.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you.
Just overall, revenues are performing where we sort of anticipate, coming in a little bit higher than expectations in certain areas. The property taxes, they're almost at 89%. Specifically, the property tax number is roughly about 98%. We're going to project a number about $4.1 million versus 3.8 in collections. Again, we're holding steady on the expenditures. We're cutting back wherever possible, anticipating additional issues, and just kind of being conservative with our expenditures and the capital outlay. Do you have any other specific questions regarding the financial statements, revenues, and expenses? And moving into the revenue status report, I don't know if you had an opportunity to look at that over lunch. Two key articles in here. One is from the Beige Book for the April 11th edition. An update basically from the feds and what they're expecting. I won't go into the details. The next article in there is from Treasury Management. This is from the GFOA, and we talk a little bit about the interest rates and the future of the rates. Again, if you look at these projections for the interest rates, they're pretty dismal still, pretty flat. I've also provided some moving averages and information on the money market funds. Moving on to the overall projection on page 10 of 20. Our expectations are going to be about $400,000 in excess of budget overall. There are some categories that are slipping. There are some that are coming back a little bit stronger than others. If you'd like, I can go into detail on some of these, or just okay, move on. Any other questions, concerns?
Doing a great job, I think.
Thank you.
I think our budget's better presented than it's ever been since I've been on this board. I think the clarity is the best I've seen it. Plus, I think most of us have a much higher confidence level than we used to.
Thank you. And that was one of the issues that I I knew was a concern coming on board, that there needed to be more clarity and consistency. And I think we've, as a team, as an organization, we've placed certain things in the motion to establish that consistency from month to month. And now that these financial statements are presented in such a way that they almost mirror the comprehensive annual financial report, that adds to that clarity. It adds to that transparency. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Okay, now we move to citizen comments. At this time, the chairperson will open the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for public hearing, or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinions. The chairperson reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolutions. Is there anyone on my left that would like to come forward and address the board? Is there anyone on the right that would like to come forward and address the board? Thank you. Now, under public hearings, public hearings are conducted to allow public comments on specific advertised issues such as rezoning, ordinances, policy development, operating budget, and other legislative actions to be considered by the City Commission. At this time, we received comments regarding a request for a special use permit to allow for utilization of a vacant warehouse structure as a places of assembly for property located at 1146 West College Street Extension.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Adam.
This Places of Assembly overlay request is at 1146 West College Extension. It's a PCD, there's a commercial zone lot. There's a current structure there, and the applicant, for the application, intends to use it as a church. I guess a startup church is the best word for it, small, and intends to grow. And the planning staff recommended denial because it doesn't meet the parameters of the PAO zoning district as laid out in the UDC. But the board, the Planning and Zoning Board, recommended approval with 5 conditions that are in the report. That the PAO will be voided, number 1, if the church vacates this location, and that it's limited to this parcel. Number 3, that fire and life safety inspections shall be conducted to determine maximum occupancy. And number 4, they will register with an occupational tax permit or certificate. And 5, to stabilize and pave the parking so as to prevent damage to adjacent properties and or public streets. Per the pictures that are in the report and the application, that the applicant was going to use the rear of the property as parking, and it's currently grass. And it's a small church now, but you can imagine getting enough cars back there kind of create an issue for adjacent properties if it rains and the grass lot gets all rutted out, and that's actually part of our development regs is to pave parking areas.
Well, that caught my eye when I looked at this, so of those 5, that's the one that's most important probably. Does the applicant understand so we don't get into
The applicant is here.
to an issue on this parking thing?
Do you want to ask him that?
This is a public hearing.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, is this the applicant? Okay, thank you. Good evening.
My name is Apostle Ulysses Cochran.
I can't hear you, sir.
My name is Apostle Ulysses Cochran. And I had begun to take this warehouse to start off a headquarters with a ministry. But I don't have a ministry as far as people, because I'm the only one. Right now, what I'm trying to do is recruit. I don't want to have, just expect for a church to be there. This is just a stepping stone. I'm not going to be there for a little while, because actually I just got a 6-month lease on the place. That's what I've been doing with him, because I told him when I got the place, all I want to do is have some meetings in there to gather some people that I have already ordained. And then when I can teach them the things that I have to spread this ministry, that's what I'm doing. And the whole thing is, it's not gonna be a big gathering that's gonna cause some kind of nuisance in the neighborhood. Not gonna be loud or anything like that. But the main thing is, it's just to the people that's gonna be coming, and that's gonna be some that I know already, they know what I'm ministering, and they gonna come. But in a little while, within the time limit, I don't look to be in there no more, about 6 months anyway, because what I have right now, with the knowledge of what I'm doing right now, gonna put us in a place that we gonna need this zoning and all this planning done. So it's necessary for me to be in here, so I can hear the things and know what we can do. I didn't know a lot of things about ordinance and things, but I've learned a lot of things just by dealing with you all. I had a stroke last year, but I'm up and ready again, because I'm not gonna let nothing stop me from doing that. And so I ask that, what the thing is, I'm not, I know you have to sign up like it's a assembly. And in an assembly is just like a church, a gathering, auditorium, or whatever, But the main thing is that this is not gonna cause any nuisance to the city. It's not gonna create a problem for them.
Excuse me, Adam, the front half of this lot is the convenience store there. You're looking at the picture on page 1, you've got the shed building, the shed of the covering the gas pumps, you got the car wash on the back side, but half of this lot is the service is the convenience store portion.
See, what it is, the fix is fenced off. Is that the building that's adjacent to the little car wash there? Car wash.
It looks like it's part
of
of
a fence, inside of a fence.
Well, I can't find
See,
it on the
that
map.
picture's
Tell me
deceiving.
which one it is.
You can't even get
Doesn't
into
say
the place from the
1146.
front. No, you can't get in. You only have to come in on West College Extension.
So it's not the picture with the red box on it, Adam?
It is, but he's saying that it's the rear of that structure, I guess, I would call it rear.
But you're talking about rezoning only half a place of assembly when the half of the property is being used as a convenience store.
So they have to apply the whole.
Are they selling?
But it's not connected, because there's a solid wall.
Right.
What's that back there, car wash?
Yeah. There's no doors, no nothing, windows, or anything.
And behind the convenience store, you can't even see the convenience store, barely see the convenience store from there.
What a convenience store right here.
This brings up a legal question. Are we zoning half of one legal plat? I didn't know we could do that. Is that what we're doing here?
No, we're going to overlay over the entire parcel.
But see, it's not the
How
whole
can you have a
thing.
COA on one piece of a plat of a lot and not on the other plat of the other? I'm a little confused here, so. So
See,
we're gonna have a
if it's
convenience
gonna be
store
the
operating in a
inside
POA
I'm sorry.
on the front?
I was thinking the zoning, well, now the Unified Development Code requires that you treat the entire legal lot. I don't know if we can split one without having a subdivision.
He's putting it over the entire lot.
Why can't this?
Well, you can
Explain it.
premises back there, but
Huh?
you can leave the premises back there. The question is splitting the overlay, because you can't split the overlay like split it on.
But
Hey, could you explain that too?
do they sell alcohol in that front part of that store?
I'm sure they probably do.
So we're doing a place of assembly with an alcohol license?
Is that what Jensen used to have a car wash? That's what Jensen Rollins used to have a car wash back there?
It's adjacent to that. You can't even see it. You know,
The way that building made,
adjacent to that building.
it's almost just like they made, they two buildings.
With a convenience.
It's not a one building, it's two buildings.
We don't own buildings, we don't buy.
And that,
We don't own buildings, we don't buy.
Oh,
All right, so you're leasing this from the owner for 6 months?
what happened, I've leased it for over a year now, because you all was getting ready to start having the, board and everything, and so I fell in that time while you all was getting together. And what happened was, I rented this place because it's got a separate address. It don't have the same address. In fact, when I first sold it to the lady in the planning and zoning, she saw that, she had a picture of it, just not like that, just with this one building. And what she did, you had a plaque on it, but I don't see that now.
The convenience store actually runs on Meriwether Street.
Yeah.
And the building that he's referring to runs
on West College.
But it's not platted as a separate lot, apparently. Who owns the property, Adam?
That's my point, if it's not platted as a
Higher
separate lot, how can
Patel.
you zone it?
Did he sign the application, or does he consent to this?
Yes, he did.
What says it?
I personally have no problem zoning this for this gentleman, and I understand it's a separate building, but I do think, before I would agree to that our attorney tell us that you can split one platted lot into two zonings, or let something, this sounds to me like a strange legal thing, and I've never seen this done before, where you split zoning on one lot.
I'm pretty sure our ordinance requires you zone the entirety of the legal lot.
you got church reason where you want to, can't you?
Well, then how can we zone the POA on the front when there's another operating business there, and you've got convenience store selling alcohol?
You're not rezoning, you're putting a places of assembly overlay.
Why can't he do that
Okay,
without
The underlying zoning stays the same.
I'm sorry, I didn't say what I was going through my head, but how can you have a overlay over a whole lot when you've got another
I would
convenience
need to
store?
go back and look at the Unified Development Code to see how that applies in this situation, because I think you're absolutely correct. The intent was to apply it to the entirety of the legal lot. Here you've got two different uses apparently within the same lot, which are allowed by the underlying zoning, but don't necessarily require the places of assembly overlay on the entirety of the.
Does he have to, if he have, whatever he's doing, does he have to have the places of assembly overlay to have church? Whatever, meeting, whatever he has?
I mean, we have a meeting in residential areas, and they don't have a overlay district.
Did we not put a threshold limit as to how many people, you have to?
I don't think it was people, I think it was a square footage, and I believe it was 3 hours.
Okay. It's been a while since I've looked at that. You can have assemblies within your own home without having to do this. I thought we had some exclusion within that. It's just been a while. Right.
But
Well, I hate to
if the owner of it doesn't object, and he just said there were not to be a whole lot of people.
Why
That
did you
this
come,
was a training
what made you
area.
decide to get the overlay, to come to apply for it? Apply for this? Did somebody from up here tell you you had to do it?
I'm sure when he came to the
No.
March 1st, he applied, and, I'm assuming that he sat down with Brett or Tucson and filled out the application,
Is the egress on this building just the back door, or does it go through to the other side of the building? Is it, how's,
That he has to do it.
I understand, but how many doors are on the West College Extension side? I mean, is there only one entrance and one in and out on?
It looks like one photograph,
That brings in a real question for a church.
door right beside it.
It didn't even look like, that's why I had a problem, because it didn't even look like.
those are functioning doors, right?
2 36-inch doors.
Well, I hate,
And then, the way it is, the roll-up door can't be let up also, right there beside the exit sign.
well, I hate to put a delay on this, but I really think we need to table this to our next meeting and get an answer from Drew if we can legally put a POA on this,
Or even if it's
with
necessary.
two different uses, huh?
Yeah, or even if it's necessary.
Even if it's necessary. If you
Yeah,
just-
I think it would be to your best interest to allow us to look at this until the next meeting. I think it would be to your best interest.
Yes.
Well, we've done
We
that.
did on Carver Road.
We did that though, didn't we?
Yeah.
If y'all just, when you come up on the agenda, if you'll just table it for this next meeting,
Okay,
and we'll look at, try to answer these questions for you before then.
okay.
Well, we'll wait till, after the
Okay,
hearing.
this is still a public hearing. Is there anyone else that would like to speak
For or against.
to this, item? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move into our consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I move we approve both sets of minutes on April 24th if no one has any objections or corrections.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as written. Any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by a show of hands. 6-0. We move into our regular agenda. Consider a request for a special use permit to allow for the utilization of a vacant warehouse structure as places of assembly for property located at 1146 West College Street Extension.
Madam Chair,
We table it.
I move that we table this to our next meeting, which is, I believe, May 22nd. Is that correct?
I second it.
I have a motion and a second to table this item until our next meeting. Is there any further discussion?
Not discussed.
All in favor, let it be known by a show of hands. 6-0. Consider a request from the Main Street Program to enter into an agreement with University of West Georgia Center for Public History for the purpose of assessing the Regional Welcome Center, the Griffin Regional Welcome Center Museum's collection in the amount of $12,000.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve this. And I understand this is hotel motel tax money, correct? Or it's not, it's part of your budget?
Already budgeted item in the planning and development
All right.
budget for the Main Street program.
I still move we approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by a show of hands. 6-0.
I would like to know what we hope to accomplish by this. I mean, we're overflowing at the Welcome Center upstairs in our museum.
Madam Chairman and Commissioners, basically what we are trying to accomplish there is to get some organization and to get some advice and a plan for keeping our collection intact. We have a wealth of artifacts in our museum and in storage areas, and even at the Bailey Tebow House, there are some items there that we would like to have assessed as well. Tourism is a key factor here. Economic development of this city and other cities look to their museums and their cultural and historic and their cultural and heritage artifacts for generating tourism dollars in their cities. I provided you all with some information on the West Georgia program and their director there. She actually came to visit Griffin, and we took them on a tour of the museum and of our storage areas, and they actually saw that there are several artifacts that are in jeopardy of loss because of the way they are being kept, improper storage and climate control and things of that nature, and we don't want to lose anything. So this assessment will not only tell us what we have and the value of what we have, but they will also provide us with some direction on how to preserve things, how to store things, how to catalog items, and this can dovetail with what's going on with the Archives Project as well, so that we will have a knowledge of what we have. I'm here with my Board of Directors Chair and my Board of Directors Vice Chair, Mr. Daoud Amin and Ms. Jean Brummagem. And Ms. Brummagem actually helped me clear out a storage area. and we literally had things crumbling in our hands. There were documents there from the 1800s that are in serious jeopardy of loss. We found photographs, items that are hundreds of years old there. And I think that it is imperative that we take the steps and be proactive about keeping this collection intact and displaying it so that the community and people from outside of our community can benefit from the wealth of educational items that we have.
Right, and it will give us a sense of history of the city of Griffin and give us a priority list for everything that's in the Welcome Center now?
Yes, ma'am. What they are planning to do is catalog every item, from every document, every photo, from spoons, medical implements, everything that we have there. They want to assign a formal number to these items, and this system is used by all museums nationwide. There's software that can be purchased at a later time that will actually put our items on the register with all of the other museums, where museums can communicate back and forth as to what items we have. In addition, they are planning to assess what we have as far as how we can put these items into cohesive collections so that we can advertise those collections to the community and to tourists as well, so that they will be attractive for people to come. Right now, we just kind of have a hodgepodge of items that aren't really organized in any formal manner, and we really need to do something about it.
Right. Have we already gone into a contract with them?
We have not. A memorandum of understanding was submitted to the Board of Commissioners for your consideration, and we would like to have that approved, and then we move forward with the project.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kira.
Thank you.
We got a second?
Yeah,
Did we
we got
vote?
a vote.
We
voted.
Okay.
We've already voted, haven't we?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next, consider a purchase of two 2013 Ford Explorers from Speedway Ford in the amount of $44,407.72 using federal asset forfeiture funds for use in the police department, and amend the budget accordingly.
Madam Chair, I move we approve and we amend as presented, and I'm delighted to see from that forfeiture fund budget.
Second, with a question.
I have a motion and a second. Who seconded?
Ron,
Ryan seconded.
Yeah.
with a question.
And go ahead, Doug.
The Ford Explorers, which area will those be used in? Those for the dog and the canine?
Investigation Division. All asset forfeiture vehicles are being used in the Criminal Investigation Division. They're all unmarked vehicles.
So this will be okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. I have a question. How did Speedway Ford happen to get happen to buy from them? Just
Well, they're here. Is that
Kenny
one
Smith
of
did that.
okay. Well, I'm glad to see that.
Kenny Smith cut this horse truck.
Our local vendor undercut the state bid price,
Okay.
state contract price.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Good price.
Good. All right.
It's cheaper than, almost cheaper than a Dodge, one of the
Very
cars,
good
isn't it?
price.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we vote?
No.
All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Thank you.
Just finding out who did that.
Yeah. Consider a service agreement with Garland DBS Incorporated for replacing the roof at Fire Station Number 3 for the maximum amount not to exceed $111,763, and amend the budget accordingly.
Madam Chair, I move we approve.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion?
Is this the Crescent Road Fire Station? Thank you.
Police Department, I guess 2 years ago. And, they provide the materials and they hire the contractor.
Sounds right to me.
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor, let it be known by show of hands. 6-0. Thank you. Consider equipment from the fire department to be declared surplus and placed on GovDeal for sale to the highest bidder.
Madam Chair, I move we approve that list of equipment for sale.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by show of hands. 6-0.
You're not gonna buy the Bowflex machines? I'm just kidding.
consider acceptance of a donation from Southern River Energy Trust Incorporated of Rosetta Stone Enterprise Software Spanish version with a value of $1,403 for the City of Griffin Fire Department.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Let it be known, we all accept all donations.
I have a motion.
That's a great one, by the way.
Okay, is that discussion? I have a motion and a second to approve.
It's free.
All in favor, let it be known by show of hands. 6-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're tough to control there, aren't we?
Yeah, you are. Okay, consider the purchase of 2 commercial front-end loader trucks, and 1 leaf vacuum truck for the budget amount not to exceed $650,000 combined purchase price to be leased. 650.
That's a choker number.
Combined purchase price to be leased through GMA and amend the budget accordingly.
I move we approve.
I second. Are these more fuel efficient, I hope?
Very, much more fuel efficient.
Fantastic.
I had a whole thing prepared, but thanks.
Go ahead. Listen, this will make everyone happy.
Don't talk us out of it.
Go suck some leaves.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Is that, all in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0.
Middlebrook, Steve.
You know, when Phil first came, he wasn't speaking out loud in public. Now, we won't let him. It's not fair.
Hey, Phil, is that over, how many years is that over the lease?
Don't ask that. 10 years.
10?
Has a useful life of 10.
Okay. Okay, consider approval to award bid and construction contract to the lowest bidder, Davidson Hydrant and Utility Services LLC, for the relocation of 450 feet of water main to the Coke tank in the amount of $93,940 and amend the budget accordingly.
I move we approve, but am I crazy? I thought we did this before. Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Consider a resolution to amend the City of Griffin stormwater fiscal year 2011-2012 operating budget to reallocate funds from purchase contracted services to supply.
Madam Chair, I move we approve the amendment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Consider the fiscal year 2012 subscription for services provided through elected cities of Georgia in the amount of $359,710.
Madam Chair, I move we approve, and I have a question.
Second with a question.
Motion and second. Go ahead.
Since they've spun off ECG into this separate entity, is it working good, better, best?
I believe it's working better.
Working better.
It puts us in a better position legally and doesn't have any conflict with MEAG.
Okay.
And this is our annual cost total compared to what we were spending before, where, we were at $339 last year. With the new poll agreement goes up about $20,000, but we're also recouping at least that in the new poll agreement.
Speaking of polls, where's the rodeo this year?
It was this weekend, and we got, out of 4 events, we won first place in 3 of them.
Fantastic.
Where was that at? Albany.
Where?
Albany or Albany?
Albany.
Albany.
Albany, 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4.
Yeah, fantastic.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Acknowledge the refund of the MEAG year-end settlement in the amount of $1,664,658 and direct the funds to be deposited in the Municipal Competitive Trust Flexible Operating Account, short-term portfolio.
Madam Chair, we happily acknowledge the refund and direct it to be deposited in the short-term portfolio.
Yes. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Okay, acknowledge the refund, is that what I just said? Okay, acknowledge the refund of the MEAG Telecom year-end settlement in the amount of $3,166.43 and direct this refund to be placed in Municipal Competitive Trust Flexible Operating Account.
Move that we approve.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by a show of hands. 6-0. Consider the subscriber service agreement with Online Information Services Incorporated to provide credit scoring, skip tracing, and adverse fair credit reporting notices.
Madam Chair, I move we approve.
Bill, what would this do?
This replaces our existing service that we have, basically does all the credit checks and everything that we need up in customer service, really with no financial impact, because it's replacing an existing service. Second motion.
Okay.
A motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by show of hands. 6-0. Consider an agreement for utility collection. Consider an agreement for utility collection services with Online Information Services Incorporated in the amount of 35% of all debt collected.
We've been through several debt collection schemes. We hope this one works.
Yes, sir. One of the benefits to this is about 50 communities in Georgia use this service, and all the utilities around us use it. So if somebody moves out of our community into a surrounding community, it helps. We'll know where they're at.
Well, I hope this is the magic bullet, and I move we approve.
Right, I second that. About how much do we have uncollected?
Some. We'll get you a dollar
I'm not
figure.
looking for a dollar amount, but a percentage.
I would say we probably have somewhere around $5 or $6 million.
Is there a mutual agreement between utility companies that, since they use the same service, that they would not allow service to be turned on in a community or into a system without?
I don't think you can do that.
No,
I'm just asking if that was a...
But we will know that they're on that system.
Can't do that.
Are we obligated to provide service to a resident of the city of Griffin?
Are we
Are
obligated
we
to?
allowed to turn them down because of their credit?
Not really.
But if they owe us money, we can decline to give
Only
them
if they have
money.
baggy pants.
And we can't do a thing about baggy pants. So our attorney tells us.
What do we do?
We have a motion second.
Motion and second. All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Consider a pole attachment license agreement with Comcast Cable for the use of city utility poles.
Madam Chair, I move we approve.
I'll second that with a question.
I have a motion and a second. Go ahead, Doug.
I noticed that in the financials that our Comcast or the cable franchise fee had declined this year. Will this bring that level back?
This is a separate item.
It is a separate
Right. This
franchise
has to do
agreement?
with our pole rental agreement, going from $8 a pole to, I think it's around $16.50 per attachment.
Yeah.
So you'll see a gain of about $100,000 over the next 4 years in our pole rentals.
Okay. Thank you.
You have a motion, second.
All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Consider approval for Commissioner Joanne Todd to attend the 2012 MEAG annual meeting on July 15 through 18, 2012, at Amelia Island, Florida.
Only if we can go.
No. I move we send her out of town through August 27th.
You know,
Second it.
have you been concerned? I want to know if you've been
escort?
with Harry.
Okay.
I move we approve.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, let me know by show of hands.
I have to warn you, I have quite a few chaperones there, Mr. Smith, Mr. Bosch, Mr. Ridgway.
They're the
You've
ones
never
who
been off with
chaperone.
Mr. Ridgway, I can assure you that he's a good chaperone.
Okay. Consider an agreement with Norrid and Associates Incorporated to provide an armed security guard to be stationed at 100 South Hill Street in customer service for an annual cost of $61,097.40.
Madam Chair, I move we approve and with a comment.
Second.
I have a motion and second.
And my comment is, this saves the city, as I understand, about $30,000, which is a good thing. And for those who read the paper and jumped to conclusions, you were wrong. This is a good deal.
Well, and it also improves the use of our policemen.
Yeah.
You know, they're not having to sit there and babysit the populace who come in to pay their bills,
Yes.
who are upset with the city. So I think it's an excellent move also.
And I'm gonna vote.
We have motion and a second. Did somebody second? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Okay. Mrs. Smith?
Just a couple of things. I think Kara probably, made sure that you guys know the stakeholder meeting on May the 23rd at 8 o'clock at City Hall for the branding. And you're invited, and/or an appointment from your district is invited.
When, Monday the 28th?
It's Wednesday the 23rd
I
at
had that wrong. All the way around them.
8 a.m. here at City Hall.
Wednesday the 23rd.
And if you can't be there, if you'll at least have your district appointee there. We had a good meeting last week, and look forward to good things from that. The budget schedule, just want to reiterate, we'll have another workshop on the 22nd. We'll go over some details that we didn't cover this morning. We'll have a public hearing that evening that we will advertise for public input. Then we will have an additional public hearing on June the 12th, and hopefully vote to approve the budget on June the 12th. And we don't have a second meeting in June, so that's scheduled for the only meeting in June.
Okay.
That's it.
You have something?
I have nothing.
Commissioner Bia?
Yes, I would just like to say, when I left here today, I did some research on that plan for the insurance, and I'd like to commend everybody that had a hand in putting that together. That is a great plan, and I compared it with some more cities, and it's comparable too with other cities' plans. And I'd just like to commend everybody that had a hand in putting that together.
Thank you, Commissioner Morrow.
I once again commend the preliminary budget look. I was impressed with some of the thinking went into it. I think we're gonna have a good budget, and I'm surprised.
What? That it's a good one, or that you don't have any questions?
Well, no, I was really sort of negative on where the economy was, but I feel much better now.
Yeah.
Commissioner Hobart?
June Jam is June 2nd, so that's going to be out at the new Pocket Park over here across from the courthouse. A lot of work's going into that with Kira and her crew, and wanted to thank the staff for y'all's performance this morning in terms of presentation. It's exciting that where we're at, and very confident in what you're presenting us. Thank you.
Commissioner McLemore? Commissioner Todd?
No comments. I think our staff is serving our city well, and you're conducive to their actions and everything. I received a letter from a constituent who had a question about the new meters. Is Bill still here? And they sent an employee out to explain it to the constituent, and he felt kind enough to write back and say it was very good, and he appreciated it, and maybe have a class on teaching people how to, read their meters, etc. So I was very pleased with that.
Okay. Nothing else? I have a motion. I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Ryan nodded.
A second. All in favor, let me know by show of hands. 6-0. Yes.